All right, let's bring in another voice. Joe Lunardi, ESPN bracketologist, joining Dallin Cuff and myself here on Bet. Joe, we appreciate the time. Thanks for jumping on. Question number one right out of the gate. Tyler Fulgham, my normal co-host, and myself, well, we were running our mouths recklessly a few weeks ago about how there's no way Duke's going to miss the tournament. And now it feels like Duke might miss the tournament. How bad is that prediction looking from Tyler and myself?
I would still give the Blue Devils about a 60-40 chance to make it.
What?
But let's be clear. If we were talking a 9-8 team with a net over 60 whose best win is at Notre Dame, would we even be having the conversation? So you were right to kind of put the idea on the table, Joe. But, you know, Duke's got to win some basketball games. The good news for them is the ACC is not really very good, so they have an opportunity to win basketball games. And our program, which kind of replicates past seasons and forecasts tournament odds going forward, is still putting them slightly in the good side, 60-40 as I say. But me, I'm betting the under.
Joe, I mean, you just broke my heart. We were on cable. We were on CBB Live 2 weeks ago. I said, how much longer do we have to talk about Duke? I thought this was the week. We were done. I thought it was over. But now you're telling me we're going to keep going. That's disturbing on its own right. Let me ask you a different question. In this COVID year, you know, we've had people on pauses. Baylor's on a pause now. Has that changed at all how you are seeding teams when they go into these pauses, how you seed teams? And will the committee be seeding teams differently if somebody is on a pause when we hit Selection Sunday?
Well, this is completely random, but you mentioned Baylor for the first time. There's no doubt in my mind that Jared Butler is number 2 on the list of Player of the Year candidates, to reference that. But what's the committee going to do? Look, anybody who says they really know is guessing. I'd like to think that my guessing is a little more educated than most under the circumstances, but you know, that's why they're going to require, 7 straight days down of negative tests before they even get to Indy. So they don't want you there if you're going to have a positive and opt out or withdraw. So I really think a lot of this is going to work itself out. They've built in a gap between the conference tournaments and the day that the first full bracket gets underway, which is a week from, or 4 weeks from tomorrow. So might we have an isolated instance or two? Maybe. But if other examples like in Bubbleville at Mohegan and other kind of closed bubble environments for basketball are any indication, we might just get away with it. And I think they will seed, to your direct question, they will seed exactly as the basketball resumes suggest they should.
You have 10 teams from the Big Ten making the tournament as of right now. We have not seen 10 teams from the same conference make the tournament since the Big East in, I believe, 2011. So how confident are you between now and tournament time we're going to see 10 Big Ten teams get in?
Yeah, it was 11 in 2011, but remember, that was a 16-team league. We're talking about a 14-team conference now with the Big Ten. And right now, the last 2 in are Maryland and Minnesota, whatever order you want to put them in. They're both under 500 in the league. Minnesota has been swept by Maryland. So I would put the Terps just slightly ahead of the Gophers at this point. History would tell you that at least one will play their way out because more teams tend to spend these latter weeks of the season playing their way out than in. So again, if I'm betting, I'm setting the over and under for the Big Ten at 9.5 bids, and I am taking the under.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, brackets. Let's talk about the Gonzaga and Baylor game. Joe and I both were saying we would take them against the field in terms of winning the whole championship. We're assuming they're going to be number 1 seeds, and they both are undefeated right now. But what is the scenario for each one, or is there a scenario where they are not number 1 seeds, or one of them will not be a number 1 seed?
Wow. No, I don't think that there is at this point. Certainly not in Gonzaga's case, because they just don't have enough games left that they can lose. I suppose they could have a complete train wreck and start losing to bottom-end teams in the WCC. But again, they're pretty much at the end of the regular season. Now, Baylor's going to come back and play all-up games, if you will. So I suppose they could come back from pause and look like Clemson, right? And just completely fall apart for 2 weeks. And again, not making a judgment. It's just what we've seen with our own eyes. But no, because a couple of things have to happen. They have to lose a lot, and someone has to be good enough to pass them. And right now, the next teams on the board, Michigan, Ohio State, Illinois, maybe Alabama, maybe Villanova if they get it back together. Some think Houston if they run the table. They've got a big game tonight at Wichita. So I think it's going to be Gonzaga, Baylor, and 2 Big Ten teams. Name your 2.
Joe Lunardi, ESPN bracketologist, kind enough to spend some time with us here on Bet. Thanks so much, Joe. We appreciate it.
You bet. You guys should have told me I needed to dress up more. I feel really overdressed with you 2.
Next time you come on, and we'll hopefully have you on in the next few weeks, you dress as down as you like. You can go shirtless if you want.
Pajamas, baby, whatever you need.
Let's not go there. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.